Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5. I think this is episode 8, you guys, so let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys. I mean, we here for what we've been waiting on, and bravo to Bravo, okay, for actually showing the fight. Did not expect that. They never, ever clearly 100% show a fight from beginning to end, and we got the full thing there. I don't know what exactly changed their mind on things. Maybe the girls agreed that they wouldn't try to sue each other after they had already, brought cases against each other, but they dropped them. Like, I don't really know why this happened, but yeah, we saw the whole fight. So, they were up in each other's face. Monique was flipping Candace's hair. Candace was telling her to drag her. And next thing you know, Monique is holding on to Candace and just basically just wailing, hitting her in her head. A good 5 solid contacts I saw before really they was able to kind of get in between them. She ended up grabbing onto her hair, and that must have been a weave and not a wig, because child, it did not come off. That shit was on, okay? And of course, everybody is telling Monique to let her go, let her go, let her go. Okay, and Monique is not letting her go. All she gonna keep saying is, get off me, get off me, get off me. So I'm gonna give you guys 2 different aspects, right? Basically, if you are from, like, I grew up in the hood. I'm not hood, and so I'm not trying to act like I am, but I know that, when you actually tell somebody to do something to you, when you kind of goad them on to drag you or to fight you or to hit you, there's only so many times that people are going to be able to listen to that without acting on it. Okay, this clearly shows that Monique is a fighter, Candace is not, because she didn't see that they had to cross the threshold to, I'm about to beat your ass. She didn't see it. And I'm not a fighter, but I saw it. So that lets you know that she just don't have that in her. She just missed that. It was coming though, especially the way that Monique was flipping her hair. She already was like, keep trying it, bitch. I mean, you guys, we saw that, right? Okay, so getting that out of the way. Was Monique right? Absolutely not. Monique obviously has decided to pick on Candace because she can. We've seen it happening all season. She has been building up to getting to this point, and has decided to really just fuck up Candace because she's the only one that she really can do. She's not going to fight Gizelle. She's not going to fight Robin. She's not going to fight any of the other girls. Okay. So, Candace is the one, but it's really unfortunate because we still don't know why. If you this mad where you want to fight Candace because of Charisse and her being friends, yeah, you need to reevaluate, Monique. You need to reevaluate. Now, we all know, well, we all assume, or we all think that Monique is actually very frustrated with other things that's going on, namely her marriage. I think that she probably did kind of get caught cheating and, is frustrated about that because there's really nothing that she can do about it. She's in this marriage with Chris. I was talking to one of my girls the other day, Charisma, and she was just like, I think Chris told her, like, you know what? If you still want to have access to all that you have access to, then you have to drop that nigga. I'm in charge. All right. You my wife, and you're going to have to play the role. So I think that she's probably frustrated because she's in this, but she, is mad because she got caught and, the girls knew about it and, all of this, Gigi spreading her business out there. And I think she just really is taking it out on Candace because that's the weakest link. I don't think she's all that happy in her marriage. Chris continues to want to have kids. I don't even think she probably wanted to have that many children. After the 2, she constantly complained about being tired and overworked and all of that. And then they had, after she had the miscarriage, then I think she felt like she owed it to herself and Chris to have, another baby. And, but I just don't think Monique is happy. And I've been trying to figure it out all this season why she's all over Candace, and I've just come up with the conclusion is just because she can. Okay, so while they're all trying to get her apart from Candace, you know, and everybody is like, let her go, you know, she finally lets her go. Who was that screaming? You guys, who was that screaming like at the top of their lungs, like, ah! Ah! It wasn't Candace and it wasn't Monique. I said, if it wasn't neither one of them, why are you screaming like this? But anyway, they pull Monique out. Okay, take her into the stairwell, and producer James is in there with her. You know, he's very level-headed. He's listening to her. She's like, you know, she just kept on asking me, you know, to drag her. Like, you can't keep telling me to drag, you know, like she's taunting me, you know. And James is just sort of like, okay, you staying in this stairwell. In the meantime, you know, Candace is in there, and she is yelling and screaming, calling Monique a ghetto-ass, hood-rat-ass bitch, you know, and it's just a mess. The girls are all looking around. I know it's going around on social media that somebody pushed Monique. I looked at the rings, and I don't think that anybody was pushing her to try to start a fight. You know, you could see that it was getting heated. It was either Gizelle or Robin. I believe it was Robin. But it was just in the melee that was getting started. She was not trying to get anything started. Listen, you cannot put this on anybody else but Monique. She lost her cool. She lost her head. She could not get herself back. Like she said, she blacked out. Okay? Once you fully in that mode like that, all you can see is really hurting the other person. So, you know, so everybody is kind of disgusted. Karen was just like, let me go check on my friend. You know, she goes and James won't let her in the stairwell. You know, Monique was like, open the door, James. And James was like, no, we're not opening the door. So, you know, they're hustling Candace off because it just got way too volatile in there. Okay, Candace is still mouthing, and Monique clearly still wants to get to her. So Monique goes out the back door. The camera follows her. Next thing she knows, she's running towards Candace, who they're trying to put into a SUV. You know, she's like, why do I have to leave? All right. She was the one that was attacked. They was like, girl, because we're trying to save your life. Okay, this fool want to kill you. Because Monique come running up to her and is still wanting to fight. You know, Ashley inside, who was in the bathroom during the fight, ain't nothing worse than missing a fight, child. I mean, she saw it on camera. But, you know, it's just like you be in the bathroom and you'd hear all this scuffling and screaming and you come out and the shit is over. I would have been so damn mad when Ashley came out and she was just like, what happened? Okay, well, all of that happened. You know, Ashley sees Monique running outside like, is that her running? You know, she's still trying to get to Candace. Nope, we not doing that. All right. So she was just like, let me go. I'm leaving. You know, she goes in there. Where's my purse? You know, and everybody was just like, well, she was just like, y'all better keep that girl away from me. I'm going to kill her. I was like, please don't say these type of words, Monique. Don't say these kind of words, you know. The rest of the girls are looking at her and they all disgusted. I don't want you to continue to talk like this. Listen, just get in the car and go home. Call me when you get there. But evidently, Monique told Ashley that she got hit by a wine glass and that's what set her off. You know, when you are in the rage mode, you don't remember things clearly, obviously, because Candace never had a wine glass that was thrown at her. Well, she had the wine glass in her hand, but she never hit Monique with the glass, okay, like Monique thought. She probably ended up getting hit by the wine glass because when you are grabbing somebody and pulling them towards you and hitting them on the top of their head continuously, she got her wine glass. She's trying to, you know, so when you trying to protect yourself, you know, shit happens. The glass hit her, might have hit her in her face or whatever, because she was bleeding on her face. Yeah, it didn't happen that way. Gizelle was like, negative. That is not what happened. And of course, they all saw it. And it's really just on Monique. We just not gonna play that game. All right. Yes, the girl kept asking her to do it, kept on saying, drag me, Monique, but she was clearly not from that. She ain't from them streets, y'all. She don't know. She just don't know. Okay, she found out that day. And it was actually a very unfortunate situation because Candace didn't deserve it. Monique has really just shown her ass this season, you know, has really turned a lot of the people who have liked her all this time, she's turned them against her. So it's too bad. You know, Candace gets in the car. She's upset. She calls Chris. She says that Monique tried to fight her. I said, girl, she didn't try to fight you. She fought your ass, okay? And actually, she got some good ass licks in. Candace is just like, she doesn't understand why this keeps happening. Like, she apologized to her numerous times and she's done. She's done. Okay. But she's embarrassed because she doesn't want to be on TV. Black woman, angry, fighting, ghetto, ignorant, all of that. Chris tells her to just come home. Now, when Monique calls her Chris, he's upset, he's embarrassed because you should be, because you're a grown woman and you should be able to, Real Housewives, that franchise, they've had a few instances, that we know of where they've had fights, but especially in the Black franchises, after the whole Portia incident, they have really tried to steer away from letting things get that heated, between Candy wanting to fuck up Cynthia and her sister at the pajama party that Nene had, the pillow talk event that Nene had, and between Portia and Kenya, like they've tried to not go there anymore. So this is really truly like the only real big ass, like this was a for real fight, you guys. But anyway, he is really upset with her, saying that it's embarrassing and she shouldn't have done anything like that, and her whole attitude is just sort of like, I don't care. Basically, she did what she wanted to do, which was fight Candace. We still don't know why, though, y'all. It don't make no sense. But she needed to get that steam off. And, she did it that night, didn't she? Even the next day when Monique is talking to Chris, he comes down and you can tell he's just disgusted. It's nothing like having that spouse be disgusted with you. I've seen the look before. You just really did some shit where they just was like, what the fuck is really wrong with you? So he just was like, it doesn't make no sense that you guys are grown and you're fighting, and she was just like, well, she was the one that was just, keep on asking me to, to drag her. Like, what does she want me to do? Give her a hug and a kiss? Okay. Yeah. I mean, we got that, Monique. We really do understand that point, but come on, Monique, she was like, she's batshit crazy and she doesn't want anything to do with her. And I was just like, Monique really needs to sit down with a therapist. You really need to explain to us why you this mad at Candace, okay? Some of you guys have said that she's jealous of Candace. I didn't think so originally, but maybe she could be. Everything that sparkles is not diamonds, is not gold. Just because you have a lot of money, obviously, sometimes that doesn't mean that you are happy. I mean, I know I would be real happy. But, I mean, I'm just being serious. Like, maybe the fact that she's not happy in her marriage, this is how she lashes out. Because when Chris tries to reprimand her and was just like, it's not good for your image, it's not good. And she was just like, well, I don't care about image. Football players have to maintain a certain image, off of the field, but she don't really care. All right. And she's just not listening to any of it. She's just like, oh, well, the bitch asked for it, so she got it. And, sometimes you got to go through these stages after you get into a fight. So she's still in the, that's what the bitch gets stage of the fight. She ain't got to the regret yet. But you guys know what? Life goes on. Okay, we see Wendy. Wendy's all out of sorts. She's just like, I didn't know I was signing up for no bullshit like this. Okay, she been trying to get on Real Housewives of Potomac, and this is what y'all do? She's a professor at Johns Hopkins, y'all. She's a CNN contributor. Like, you guys got her up here looking crazy like this? No, she does not want to have that look, doesn't want to be associated with that. She wants to always be a good, and a good example for her daughter, a great role model. So that ain't it. We see Candace. Candace is looking in the mirror, and she's just like telling Chris that the top of her forehead hurts. I said, girl, it should hurt. Because like I said, Monique got 5 good ass swings on you, and they was all landing in the right here area. Just over and over and over. So yes, your head should hurt. Chris was like, you need to go to the hospital? And she was like, I don't feel like I have a concussion or anything, you know. But yeah, she's just upset about what happened the night before. Again, doesn't understand why Monique has it out for her so bad. She's apologized many times. Like, she has really gone out of her way to try to be a good friend to Monique. And yeah, like she said, basically all season, she's done. After this fight, I won't say that it's impossible, because after Portia and Kenya got into their fight, you know, they was able to make it back to each other eventually. I mean, that took years and years and years, but it looked like it's not going to last, because I think this next season, these two aren't going to be getting along all that well. But I won't say that it's impossible, but really, honestly, if I was Candace, I would not. You know, I know you got to be on this show and you got to make it happen. You know, you got to make it work if you guys want to record and things. But I'm telling you, I would not fuck with Monique no more. Like, I would keep her at the most ultimate distances. Yeah, I can smile at you and say, hey, girl. But other than that, no. Life also goes on for Ashley. She says, in a strange turn of events, you know, when all the talk was about her and her husband, you know, after the shit happened with Monique and Candace, now everybody's on that, you know, so ain't nobody dealing, you know, worrying her to death about her marriage. But that doesn't mean that she's hunky-dory in her marriage. She says, honey, she don't want anybody to get it twisted. She don't have no problem with getting the fuck on, you know, from Michael if she has to. Her and Dean will be out that house lickety split. So yeah, she wants to sit down with him and talk. Like, the way that Ashley handles that marriage, like, she definitely wears the pants. Like, Ashley is she's grown a lot over the seasons, you guys. She really, really has. She basically sat down with him and was just like, so tell me exactly what made you do what you did. You know, that whole hotel casino incident. He said that he actually misses the intimacy that he had, you know, outside of their relationship with other people. You know, he loves the fact that they have a baby together and it makes their relationship feel stronger, you know, more solid. But he also misses being out there and basically fucking other people. And she was just like, yeah, but I mean, you know, we can't keep doing that. Like, she's made it clear, I don't want to do that any longer. And you shouldn't want to do it either. You know, he says, well, okay, he won't do that anymore. She was like, well, you know what? I think maybe we need to get this in writing. Let's do a post-nuptial agreement, you know, where me and Dean are protected. Just in case you decide to go out there and lay up with, you know, all your boyfriends and girlfriends in the casinos and the strip clubs. You know, I need to make sure that I'm okay. So if you want to do that, then I need to be protected. And he says, okay. Tail tucked between his legs. And she had that look on her face like, nigga, I am not playing with your ass. A far cry from the first season. Like, I was just like, wow, this is interesting, you guys. It was interesting to see. Now, Karen, she tells Uncle Jessup, I have a chef coming over this evening to help me make you a special dinner. Oh, really? What are we having? Chilean sea bass. Karen said, look, she can't worry about Monique and Candace. Okay, that shit that they did was crazy. It was horrible and all, but she got her own problems over here as well. Namely, Uncle Jessup is mad that she has now become a businesswoman. You know, another thing that I found this season in particular is that the husbands have all had an issue with the women becoming business women. Like, well, not all of them, but you know, when I think about Chris and Monique, you know, I really feel like Chris just wants Monique to be barefoot and pregnant. And when I think about Karen and Uncle Jessup, yeah, Uncle Jessup his whole complaint is that she started that business and now she don't have any time for him. Okay, she has been the stay-at-home mom this whole time. She's been the one that's took care of the household and took care of him and catered to his every whim. And now that she's 55, 57, however many years old she is, you know, now that she's trying to start her business because the kids are gone and she can kind of concentrate on that now he has a problem. See, it's funny how powerful men cannot handle a powerful woman. Okay, and I'm not saying that Monique and Karen and I'm not saying that they just all like that, but the potential is there, and obviously the men can't handle it. Now, you know, They probably didn't marry that type of woman, so they want that type of woman for the rest of the marriage. But it happens. You guys, it's not, you know, marriages go through all kind of things. And the husbands, you know, as much as the husbands have wanted the women to support them in their business dealings, you know, now it's time for you to support me in the business dealings. And they just have a hard time.
You know, you put more into the business and, you know, it's just gotten a little lopsided.
Lopsided. So he feels a little neglected. Karen says that she's going to, you know, listen, I know that you don't like therapists,
but, you know, how about if we have like a lifestyle counselor to come talk to us?
And he was like, well, what's the difference? I said, a degree. You know, fuck, I could be a lifestyle counselor. You know, I'm not certified or degreed in the profession, but Karen's whole thing is she just wants to get somebody, a third party, to come in and mediate and talk to them and, you know, get them to open up. So however she got to package it, it's still a therapist in her, you know, in her mind. But however she got a package to make it easier for Uncle Jessup to swallow, then that's what she will do. Now, changing pace, she tells him about the fight with Candace and Monique. He says, who was the instigator? She says, it was probably both of them. Okay. What do you guys think about that assessment? Was it both of them? Yeah, I guess it was. What do you guys think about that, though? Because I know people say, use your words, okay? And the minute you start hitting on somebody, then you were the aggressor. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think about that. Anyway, she also tells them that she's going home. You know, she's been invited to her high school for the homecoming. She wants to invite the girls, but obviously it's going to be difficult with them fighting. And then lastly, she tells them about Michael and Ashley and how Ashley did confirm that that was Michael in those pictures that came out on the blogs.
Oh, really? So what was he doing?
Well, I don't know. I was like, where did that laugh come in? She basically said that Ashley said that she asked him if he had sex with the girl in the hotel, and he told her no. And, you know, he said, well, did he mention that he likes to have sex with men and, you know, couldn't do that? Anyway, they get through all that conversation. The chef gets there.
This is going to make me look so good.
Okay, and then they sit down and they eat it. And, you know, Uncle Jessup was like, it's very, very good, baby. Okay, when you gonna cook again? As far as this lifestyle counselor, lifestyle coach, therapist, whatever, Karen has a friend named Angela who has a podcast called Pillow Talk, and they talk about relationships, okay? She thought it would be a good idea to have Angela come over and talk to her and Uncle Jessup about their marriage, and hopefully this will help them reconnect. So when Angela gets there, you know, after all of the greetings and everything, they sit down. Angela says, well, we need to figure out what your love languages are.
Well, Angela, to tell you the truth, our love languages are a little rusty.
Angela understands that. Well, are you guys intimate with each other?
You know, it was a time when anytime the wind blows, I was ready. But, you know, I don't really need a hurricane anymore. But sometimes I need a little bit more than some wind.
Okay, Uncle Jessup is 115, and damn it, he can't just get it up the way he used to. We gonna need you to get down there and fondle on some balls, you know, kiss around, you know, do whatever you gotta do to get this started. Angela asks them, well, what annoys them? And she was like, well, Uncle Jessup snores. She doesn't get any sleep. Okay, well, Uncle Jessup, what annoys you about Karen? And she was just like, be truthful. So he says, well, he misses that she doesn't take care of him like she used to. You know, he finally realized that she was actually cooking for the kids, you know, and now that the kids are grown and gone, you know, she don't cook anymore. And you guys, I just laughed to myself because I was like, I can count probably on two hands how much I've cooked this year. I've never liked cooking. Mister has always been the cook in the house. You know, I mean, when the kids were here, I would cook survival food. Okay. Just something to make sure that everybody was fed, you know, every day. But it was never nothing that I never really liked being in the kitchen. It's just never been my thing. And like I said, I've been spoiled because Mister likes to cook and I like to eat. And so it's always worked out that way. But, you know, now I just don't have it in me to cook. It's just me and Mister. What I'm cooking for? I go to get us something to eat. Like on the days that I usually would cook, Because he usually will cook a few days, and then it's a couple of days where I need to be responsible for some food. Honey, I'll just go get us something to eat. Fuck all this in the damn kitchen shit. You know, what you want. But I was like, oh, listening to Uncle Jessup talk, I was like, probably, Mr. Probably do wish that I would just cook him, you know, a nice meal. But it's like, my meals don't be nothing exciting anyway. But, I mean, maybe they do, you know. So I did listen while I was listening to them talk. Then Karen comes back and says, well, you know, Jessup, you don't date me. Like, I remember a time when we would go out and you would take care of me, you know. These things are actually very important. That's why I was like, this is a good episode, because not because of the fight, but because of all of the other stuff, you know, Ashley's conversation, and now this conversation that Karen is having. Like, I could get something out of all of these things that was happening. She says that she's very much still in love with Uncle Jessup. When Angela asked Uncle Jessup if he was in love with Karen, then he said that he thinks that he is. Okay. And yeah, that was upsetting for Karen. Anybody who has been to counseling, you know, first of all, the first session ain't never fucking fun. Okay. Secondly, you know, you find out a lot of things that are hurtful that you got to try to get past. That's why a lot of times people don't make it past but a couple of sessions, because they'd be like, this is too much. But yeah, sometimes it do come out. I remember when Mr. and I went to counseling, and the counselor told us, you know, you fall in and out of love as you are married, you know, as the years goes on. You know, you don't continuously stay deeply in love, not normally. Okay. Yes, you still love the person, but the in and out of love thing happens as time goes on. Shit happens, makes you feel like, yeah, I'm just tolerating right now. Other times things happen, you guys are madly in love. Is good. Okay. And that actually took a lot of pressure off of me when he said that. Okay. Because it was just like, I was feeling like, you know, some days when you just be like, ugh, you know, you feel like you a failure in your marriage. And no, all marriages go through this, you know, so it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you have to throw in the towel. It doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean, you know, because marriage is also about commitment. And the commitment is strong whether or not you like the nigga that day or not. You know, you have to remember what you committed yourself to. So, yeah, when you get to those counseling sessions and they get to telling you all of this, it'd be tough because you just be like, ugh, you know. But when he told her that, you know, she was upset. She was just like, everybody knows that I'm in love with you except for you. Okay. And you don't know that whether or not you in love with me, and we've been together for 22 fucking years. This might be that stage when you ain't really in love right now. All right. So when she sends Angela off, thank you for coming and everything, you know, she's hurt. And Uncle Jessup was just like, I tried to just be truthful. And she was just like, I know you was trying to be truthful and I appreciate that, but I don't have to like it. She marches on up the stairs and she's like, I can't breathe. Like, take this mic off. I got to get my breath. I felt bad for her. You know what? This was like the first episode when I was really like, okay, Karen and Uncle Jessup might not make it. Like, it might not be that they fighting or anything. It just might be like they just done. They just over it. Or Uncle Jessup is just like, okay, whatever. Like, we just don't want the same things no more. I don't even see any animosity there. I think it's just, he just can do without. I had to turn on the air, bitch. It got hot in here. Okay, lastly, let's talk about Gizelle. So Gizelle and the girls are going to Atlanta. They're going to visit Jamal. Jamal bought a restaurant for the kids, remember? Well, it turns out that restaurant is Arizona's. I know I've told you guys in the past, because I remember one time Rashida was meeting with somebody. When I tell you that we used to have so much fucking fun at Arizona's, when I first moved here, that was the place to go. They had live bands on the weekends, and it would be packed full of everybody who was anybody in Atlanta, DeKalb County, whatever. And man, we had so many good times. So when I saw the place, I was like, oh, Arizona's. I thought that they had closed the place. So I guess they revamped it. He bought it, and now it's for the girls, okay? So they fly to Atlanta, stay in a hotel because Gizelle says the girls are still not comfortable. Like, the whole thing is weird. I honestly don't see any chemistry between Gizelle and Jamal. Like, I just don't see it. Maybe I don't see it because they're never fucking together. all right, but maybe 1 or 2 times. But I just feel like you staying in a hotel and your man, who's the girl's father, like, I mean, if it made you feel better, couldn't you have slept in another room? You know, like, where does he live? Has he got a woman there? Like, I was just like, what is going on with this? But whatever. She says that they doing it to make the kids more comfortable. But she's there. She's happy, you know, gonna teach the girl. Okay. Can't wait to see Jamal. She also is going to hang out with her father, okay, because her father moved to Atlanta from Louisiana when he divorced her mother. And they're going to go to breakfast the next morning, I guess, so that she can tell him about Jamal. He doesn't know that they're back together. She doesn't want him to find out through the blogs. So they go to a breakfast place. It looks like more like a pastry place. I wasn't really sure where they were. But, you know, sit down with her father, small talk about the girls going to school, getting older, you know, all of that. Oh, they're going to leave me soon. But then when she sends off the girls, she tells her father, one, Jamal bought him a restaurant, okay, teach him entrepreneurship, and he was like, that's good, you know, ownership is good. So daddy approves of that. And she also says, oh yeah, and also, you know, it's been 12 years, me and Jamal, you know, worked through some issues. We decided that we want to try to get the family back together. I know that doesn't mean that you have to be happy about it, but you know, some things we just gonna have to let go. You know, you always said trust my gut. My gut feels real good on this one. And the father is just sitting there like, okay, you know. So I mean, what do you say when you're trying to be a supportive parent? You know, she tells him all of this and he says, I just want you to be happy. All right. And I don't think he was lying to her. He never said, I just want you to be happy with Jamal. His statement was, I just want you to be happy. And if that means you and Jamal and the girls are all together, then okay, you know, I won't try to stand in the way. But I think that the father he was obviously not happy about that. Okay. She says, well, if we do get married, then I want you to walk me down the aisle. Because evidently he didn't even show up to her first wedding with Jamal because I guess he had cheated before they even got married and had a baby or something. So I was like, it's more to that story. But anyway, he said that he would. I was like, now don't be making any promises that you can't keep, daddy. So before the grand opening or the reopening of the restaurant, you know, Gizelle and Jamal take the girls down there so they can just kind of get an idea of the restaurant, you know, what they are owning, you know, how the business runs, you know, get a feel for the place. Teach them hard work, you know, like I said, ownership, things that you try to teach your children so that they pass it down to their children so you don't be turning out all these old fucked up ass lazy kids. And she's happy that Jamal takes care of all of his kids. You know, the producer was like, well, how many kids does Jamal have? And she says she has decided that she's not going to speak on the other kids because it's not fair to the kids and it's not fair to the mothers. I was like, well, I guess that's taking the high road. Okay, Gizelle of just a couple of seasons ago would have laid it all out for us. Look what love does to us, you guys. But anyway, lastly, it is the day of the reopening. You know, they go out there. All of the people probably from New Birth are standing out front taking pictures as, you know, the girls tell them thank you for coming. And they cut the ribbon and, you know, they go on in and, you know, just kind of help out. They pair them up with the managers just so they can see the daily operations, you know exactly what it is that you own. And so that's fine. And the girls actually look like they're pretty pumped up about it too. So good for them. Okay. After they finish, they all sit down with Grandpa, you know, Giselle's daddy sitting in the booth. And Jamal goes and sits down with him. And you could already feel the bad energy between Jamal and the father. Like, I feel like Jamal is very cocky, like very arrogant. And that father, you know, you could tell that he don't like any of that. He don't like Jamal. He dealing with Jamal because this is the kid's father and that's his daughter's ex-husband, and he's trying to be as respectful as he can, you know. So anyway, when they sit down, you know, Gizelle says, Jamal, daddy said that he wants me to just be happy. No, she says, just Jamal, daddy says that he wants me and you to be happy together. I said, well, that ain't exactly what your father said. Okay. And, you know, Jamal was like, I really appreciate that. All right. And the father was just like, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I said, oh yeah, that daddy, he is done. And surely he's done. Daddy don't really understand the term hot mic either, because when he says, take this mic off of me, he don't realize that the mic is still live, okay? So he's talking and saying like he can't do this. This is a bad move for Gizelle. You know, that man got 6 or 7 baby mamas. Like he's like, he just don't understand why Gizelle is even trying to do this, and he cannot support it. Like, he's done, okay? And he's steadily trying to get his mic taken off, okay, while Gizelle and Jamal over there, you know, looking lovingly into each other's eyes. I said, I don't know, Daddy. I don't even really believe the relationship is real anyway. What y'all think? Anyways, you guys, I feel like I pontificated too much. I'm gonna try to cut some of that out. Nobody came up here for all that damn talking. Anyway, you guys, make sure, before I get to that, I am going to do Let's Talk About It tomorrow. I am going to do Top of the Blogs on Wednesday. So I am going to be asking for topics on my Instagram today, later on this evening. Y'all make sure that y'all, I don't even know what's happened since I did the last Top of the Blogs and Let's Talk About It, but I got to get my last few coins in, y'all. It's the end of the month, okay? It's that last little bit, you know, so I can make sure that I, you know, that I get my, it ain't the same without my nails, I know. Yeah. Y'all make sure you weigh in on that, but let me get on. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.